Hans, you look at this and they're already playing politics. President Putin is very, very busy. What a dance card. And the President Obama seems a little alone, doesn't he?
Well, he is a little isolated. He does have an ally in Enrico Letta of Italy. He has just announced, the Prime Minister of Italy, that warships, Italian warships, are off the coast of Lebanon. So there is a development there. But there are essentially two different conferences going on here. One, it's on Syria, and it's largely about Syria. But there's also an economic component. On the Syria aspect, though, Ban Ki-moon, the head of the UN, he's arriving today. He's going to make a big political push. The head of the European Union, José Manuel Barroso, he is also talking about the need for a political solution. The lines of the debate are very clear. There are those that want a political solution, and there are those agitating for some sort of military response. We know where Obama is, Tom, and we certainly know where Vladimir Putin is.
Hans, we looked yesterday at Vladimir Putin talking about the United Nations Security Council being involved. Is there a new idea that something could be done constructively at the United Nations?
From the perspective of the U.S. administration, no. And that is because what the UN is going to find, if they do find it, is if chemical weapons have been used, not on the question of the chain of command, who ordered them. That's where this debate is really splitting apart. And what the U.S. says is that the UN is not in a position to adjudicate who authorized the use of those chemical weapons. The U.S., President Obama, clearly, and he came as close as he did so far yesterday, laying that at the feet of Bashar al-Assad. The U.S., in a lot of ways, Obama has to pay lip service here, but his real challenge may be back on Capitol Hill, getting enough votes for the use of the authorization of force.
Who is the president, Hans, most focused on back in Washington? Who is he playing to from St. Petersburg? The Libertarian Republicans, the John McCain Republicans? Is he former Speaker Pelosi? Who is he performing for?
For the Republican side, he's mostly outsourced it, and he's relying on his staff, namely Senator Hagel. His audience is House Democrats, progressive House Democrats. Remember, there is a strong view in the caucus not to get involved in foreign entanglements, especially in the Middle East. In many ways, his most important audience are those House Democrats, some on the Senate, but it looks like the Senate is moving towards passing this. But those House Democrats, very burned by the Iraq War, and they are burned by their vote there. Tom?
Hans, you were talking about how Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, will be at the G20 meetings. Who's the leader that everyone wants to talk to who could be making news at this meeting?
Well, I suspect Obama. People want Obama for two reasons. One, they want a better sense of the timing on any sort of action on Syria. But there's another crucial question, and I hinted at this at the top. They want to know what direction President Obama is heading in on who he picks for the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. There's a great deal of concern here that the Federal Reserve will taper too quickly, that will cause global chaos, potentially another recession. They want to make sure, the other foreign leaders want to make sure that Obama gets the message that the taper can't happen too quickly.